We are recording,
Oh my gosh. We're back.
and the levels look level.
The levels are leveling.
Yes, they
great.
are. Congratulations on a second episode of You Love It.
Oh my gosh. Likewise. Congratulations. We made it.
Yep. And the second episode of Cherry Channel, like on the multiple shows that you have.
Yes.
This is the second episode. I'm so honored.
We have a season officially now. It's
Yeah.
a series. There's multiples. We got it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining me on this journey.
I live here, so.
Yeah, you don't really have a
to.
choice. And I love it, and I love you, and you love it.
You're about to love it.
You are. We're really, really dorking out about this one.
Yeah.
It's a very honest dorking out of things we love.
Absolutely. What a subject are you bringing to the table today?
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah. I mean, ladies first, but I mean, do you want to go first?
I'll go first. Okay. Well, first off, once again, thank you guys so much for joining us again. You love it. We love it. And this week, we really love the content we're about to talk about. So
Yes.
It's content heavy. Buckle up. This is what everyone wants, I feel like, in the world. Like, what to watch? What are we watching besides TikTok? What's real out there, right?
This is content about other content.
Content. So this is not on TikTok. This is on the real big screen. Is it a big screen? Silver screen?
Our goddamn TV is a big screen, so
It's your favorite.
it's not a silver screen though. That's a movie theater. But
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
This is on formerly HBO Max now. Still can't get over it. Max.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah, I think it was technically Max. 'Cause
HBO Max?
HBO still exists,
Okay.
but it's part of Max, along with other things.
Yeah. Harry Potter? Sometimes.
Sometime. Oh well, yeah. That I thought you were talking about the show that's eventually going to come out.
Oh, no.
No. Yeah, it technically should be on Max,
Yeah.
but I don't know. That could be a different podcast where I complain about why Harry Potter, a part of Warner Brothers, isn't on Max. But we're not here to do that today.
Mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria. So we're covering
Yeah.
stuff on Max.
Yeah, they're both
and-
on. Oh, no.
Oh, they were. Yeah,
They're both on Max.
they were both on
This
Max.
is a Max heavy show. So get ready. If you don't
Oh,
subscribe,
no. I take that back. Mine is on Apple TV.
if you guys need logins, let us know because you need to watch these shows.
Don't let us know. Just subscribe.
Subscribe. It's
Yeah.
worth it, honestly, for
Yeah.
like what we need as a society between all the just the garbage out there on Netflix, Max. I mean, nothing's great, but we've found it for you guys. We found it.
Yeah.
All right. So are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Are you ready to love it?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to pretend like you can jump into because I know this is honestly like, the goal is to teach each other things to love, but we, spoiler alert, both love these things.
We also watch these things together. So
We do.
yeah.
All right. I'm going to get into it. On Max, you guys need to watch Faire.
Yes.
Faire is going to blow your freaking minds. Faire is not just for the doc lovers. So let me get into it. It is a documentary technically, but wow, is it so much more. It's a docu-series, but he calls it a docu-fantasy. It's crazy. It's like he wanted to make it, oh my gosh, what did he say? So Lance Oppenheim,
Nailed it.
first time. Lance Oppenheim and the Sadie Bros kind of conspired on this together. It's so juicy. So he was like, I wanted to bring this story that these two reporters were covering for 3 years. The whole thing took 3 years, so they'd been covering it beforehand. He wanted to make it Vanderpump Rules meets, God, what did he say? Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Succession.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, if you love Succession, The Office, Game of Thrones, you have to watch this. It's crazy. It's absolutely unbelievable.
And the Safdie brothers. If you loved Good Times or
Safdie
Uncut
Brothers.
Gems, the visual style of it is as if it must have had their stamp on it. But I mean, we've watched another doc of Lance Oppenheim.
Something Like Kevin.
Something Like Kevin.
Is that
I think that's it.
We'll look it up for you
yeah,
and put it in the subtitles.
And that documentary was also just a visual treat, like an absolute visual treat. You couldn't believe what kind of style he was able to accomplish while shooting a documentary.
In a retirement home is that one. I mean, to make it just to get into it, the things that top three reasons to watch it. Again, Game of Thrones, Succession, The Office, all bundled into one real life happening about a Renaissance fair. And who didn't grow up going to a Renaissance fair? I don't know if you've heard me talk about it, but like medieval times
You
or
almost
literal
made me go to one.
Literal Ren fairs. I don't know if you guys have either, but shout out. Apparently there's a big one in LA that we have to hit up. Have to do it. I mean, the turkey legs when I was a turkey eater once upon a time, the costumes, the vibe is medieval. It's cool. So if we didn't hook you already for those three reasons, the style of it, incredible. It's crazy. It's like Stranger Than Fiction. It's one of those. The music, unbelievable. It's like eerie / like whimsical, like just the way that they're able to evoke, again, just such a small little world of like they're covering a Renaissance fair, but just make it like blown up. My hands, I just have to like, it's crazy.
That's how it felt. That's why like you're doing a lot of hand gestures because it felt, it felt huge. It felt very like, it felt like a fable. It felt like you were taken on a journey.
Unbelievable.
Visual journey.
And so visually too, the way they shot it, and I would love you to touch on this because I know you will specifically dork out about it, is anamorphically.
They did, and true anamorphic. So, and I'm not trying to like, dog the movies and TV shows that crop their films to make it look more cinematic, but you can see that they shot the movie anamorphically because of the when there's a shallow focus. And in the background, the bokeh, or bokeh, I don't actually know how to pronounce it, but you can see how like lights are distorted in the background when they're out of focus. And the fact that they, so that means it's like a truly anamorphic, piece of work, which is, it's a credit. It means that the people who shot it took it very seriously. They didn't want to, they wanted to do as much in camera as possible and not, just rely on some editing technique done later.
Wow.
And I mean, off the top of my head, and I'm sure they exist, I can't think of a documentary that was shot anamorphic. I'm sure they exist.
Wow.
But the subject matter that they cover in this, and that is shot anamorphic, which I think plays to the style of the Renaissance fair, which anamorphic, I think in my, it depends on, again, this is up to, opinion, but I think it's really well suited for fantasy.
Would you say it adds to the like hazy, larger than life kind of like just wildness of it?
It makes it feel, I guess, like when you shoot something anamorphically, it gives an otherworldly texture to something, right?
Which is cool for a documentary, which is so grounded in real life.
Yeah.
They made it. I mean, he just invented his own docu style.
Yeah.
And for us, I love documentaries, if you don't know me, and Josh loves the editing and the way things are filmed. Yeah. So it was very
the pure art of it, or I mean, like the technical art. I mean, I love it when you go and see, an IMAX movie, a Christopher Nolan IMAX movie, so to speak, and it's in 70 millimeter, and you can see when they change the projector.
Oh yeah,
and you see the lens like go over, and you hear the crackle. To be able to see the technical aspect of it is always cool. So.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Besides the technicalness of it, we have to talk about the characters of it. Not to give spoilers away, but I need you guys to see this with us because it's just so crazy. Like it's kind of like Kendrick and Drake. Like I can't get over it and TikTok's not giving me enough. So like I need you guys to be that audience with us, that fan club. All right. The characters. Let's get into it. There's basically King George, who runs the Renaissance Fair. And this is the Texas Renaissance Fair. Okay. This is like the largest in America. This is the 43rd
I think
year.
So, yeah.
It's huge. It's crazy.
I mean, it's huge.
Not like your little rinky dinky, like you went to it, in the Midwest for me. This is like, he invented his own town to basically said he'd pull the Walt Disney, right? This guy is crazy. We'll get into this guy.
He read Walt Disney's book and built a town for the people who work there to live in.
It's to bypass city ordinances and to just do whatever they want to do. Yeah. So they have their own little sheriff. Like, so that guy would. Yeah. King George would. King George is a character. King George, so he's the main guy. And he basically is, I don't even know how to describe him. He is like, he's an old guy. He's like in his late 80s. He's planned out his life to live 9 more years, he says.
Yeah, he says that he is only going to live 9 more years.
He's very calculated.
Whatever that means.
Yeah, he's a real horn dog.
Yeah.
He's something. You go through a wave of emotion of loving him because he's like, sweet old man. You think, I don't know. By the end, there's 3 parts. Very mixed emotions up and down because he is basically dangling the carrot of the succession, right, between a couple people who work under him. So the people who are in contenders of the succession are, I want to say Kendall because it reminds me of Kendall so much.
Yeah.
The
There's a Kendall, basically.
If you watch Succession, there is a Kendall. The Corn King, which is Louis, which is great, like King Louis.
You think he's the Kendall?
100%. Oh, yeah. Because then there's 2 guys. So there's the Corn King, who's the Kendall. He's like ripping his jewel. He's chugging Red Bull.
You're right.
And then he's just like, the opening scene with Kendall in Succession. That's him. He's just like way too into it. Like he's like one of the vendors who's been like popping corn. He's the Corn King.
Yeah.
He does the kettle corn. He's been working there since he was 16. So now he's in his 40s.
Okay.
So even to beat him, the second guy who's in the running is Sweet Jeff, who is the general manager / he is an actor. He's very sweet. He has like the heart of it.
Yeah, formerly the creative director at the Ren Faire.
Yeah. So I guess without getting too bogged down into or spoiling like what's going to happen, those are like the people who are in the running. And then there's like a third person who comes in out of the woodworks. It's kind of like Game of Thrones. What was Littlefinger, that guy?
Littlefinger.
She kind of becomes a Littlefinger, right? She's like in everyone's ear, and she's trying to get her way to the top. It's, again, Game of Thrones, The Office, Succession. It's crazy. It's great. The characters, that's what it really takes to make a good documentary, right? Like access to like the location and character access, just like people letting you into their lives. So they did for 3 years. 3 years they did, and it is such a treat. You guys really need to watch it. It's I can't even. It's crazy. By the end, you're like, it's emotional.
Without giving away, obviously, a lot of it, but it's honestly that even if we did, I think it's the journey that gets you there that is the best part.
Oh yeah.
I just want to briefly touch on what led us up to Ren Faire.
Oh please,
you used to aim to watch 52 docs in a year.
Yes.
Yeah.
I still do. Actually, I keep a running list. So since 2018, I watch 52 documentaries a year.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I self-taught, like, I guess that's documentaries and podcasting. I just love talking to people and learning about people. So I studied it and I wrote like what I liked about them, what I didn't like about them, who directed it.
Yeah.
And that's how you learn.
And we hadn't actually watched a lot of documentaries recently. And then all of a sudden went on a documentary kick.
Yeah.
I think I have at least 7 right in front on my little piece of paper.
Oh my gosh,
here.
do you? Oh,
but
great.
These are,
it's been a doc resurgence,
in our household.
And honestly, I think there was a lull for like a year just in society. It's not just us. It's the world.
we were looking for something to watch on Netflix, and something we can actually kind of avoid on Netflix platforms in general, are murder documentaries because they get a little, and I guess there's a certain subject matter of documentaries that honestly make you kind of depressed. It's honestly kind of depressing. You need to be there's so many movies. This could be a whole category of I need to be in the mood to watch something, movies and documentaries.
Yeah.
Because I just can't. It can just be so I don't want to say brings you down, but it sort of just has an effect on your your mental state, your disposition for the day.
Absolutely. Life is hard enough.
Yeah.
We need to be entertained.
Yeah. So we found a middle ground. This, of course, after a long time looking for it. And I want to say that we started with Lover, Stalker, Killer.
Oh my God. Yes.
Right. And which is about someone who gets, who ends up being stalked by he meets a couple ladies and it ends up being stalked by one of them. Mm-hmm. And it's very twisty. It honestly, at first I was like, this meh.
It's a Netflix one. So we sometimes are a little wary of the Netflix ones.
It had some wild twists and turns, and it was very entertaining. And then that kind of started off this kick. And all of these documentaries, I think, have a particular style to them. They use a lot of, what would you call it, reenactments, but very well done reenactments.
They've come a long way with reenactments, I'll say.
They have. And I think, so we did that. We did Legend of Cocaine Island, We did,
which is about a sweet dad who just
Yeah.
kind of wanted like a fun adventure.
Yeah.
I think the theme of all these, I'm hoping what you'll say is like there's heart and kind of like wacky characters. The way it's not too serious.
Yeah, it's not too serious.
but
It's true crime with
with some heart
Yeah.
and some laughs along the way.
Yeah,
and some drugs and a little touch of murder sometimes.
Yeah, we watched Bitcon, I think Alabama Snake, which I don't have on here, but Alabama Snake.
Oh yeah.
I absolutely loved that.
Yeah, that was great.
I thought that the reenactments in that actually went beyond, I think, just reenactments. Like they were
really cinematic.
Yeah, like the actors were like, they weren't just reenactment actors. They were, they really they really nailed their performances. It felt very realistic. Bad Vegan was another one.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, that was. And Dancing with the Devil.
Oh yeah, that was a new one too.
Yeah.
Right. That was really Memorial Day kicked this off.
Yeah.
We're like, let's just stay in and watch docs and just
Yeah.
see what the world has to offer. Man, people stay weird out there. I love it.
And one of the running things in a few of these docs, in I think the Puppet Master and Bad Vegan, and I guess a bit of Dancing with the Devil. Dancing with the Devil is the TikTok, the TikTok cult.
Yeah,
Dancing,
7M.
which was, when you're watching, I'm like, oh my God, I've seen these videos before. I've definitely seen these videos sort of just like, oh man, well, it's nice for these people that they can dance and make a living. And then you go move on with your life and watch something else. But
Now when
I
you're
was like,
dancing
whoa.
for the devil.
Right. It was very surprising. But
Crazy.
there was this like kind of through line about people, being duped. I mean, like for the Bad Vegan and the Puppet Master, I mean, people just being convinced of a reality that didn't exist.
Yeah.
And it, it surprised me what people are capable of believing, I guess.
Especially even it's possible for that to happen. You always think, oh, that was in the 80s. That couldn't happen. That happens today still, clearly.
Oh, all those ones that I just mentioned are, particularly the Puppet Master. I went looking for information about what has happened to the people in it. And it's still an ongoing kind of matter, which is even crazier to think about. That it's, when you're watching it, to think that this is still going on with these people. I guess the same thing with Dancing with the Devil. Like, it hasn't been resolved.
People just get, I don't want to say smarter. People just get more twisted and weird in new outlets, like, TikTok and beyond. They just find new ways to just be. The guy in the Puppet Master was like, I'm like, you're not even that charming. How are you getting away with it? But I don't know.
I think it had to do with him being a car salesman.
Oh yeah, right.
I think if he just like, once he knew that if he sold a car to someone really easy, he knew that was a mark. That's what I'm assuming. I
hate that.
Yeah, but all this like slowly, we like started marching through these documentaries, and Ren Faire. We saw a trailer for Ren Faire, and it was sort of like we were just marching towards Ren Faire. We were just waiting for that to come out. It looked even from the trailer alone, we were thoroughly excited for Ren Faire, and it lived up to our personal hype.
Oh yeah,
I will say,
like the hype was real. It is the best piece of content. The best documentary, best movie, best anything I'll watch this year, hands down. I mean, the color grade, the music, and King George. King George is gonna make you feel a lot of ways. Yeah. He's something. But man, he has a tricked out car. He takes all these dates on. He's also looking for like his next wife, I guess. But he's looking for someone.
I wouldn't say he's looking for his next wife.
He's looking for anyone between the ages of 20 to 40. But he's also like about to be 90, so he's like on sugar daddy websites and just all kinds of things.
Unabashedly too. I think you get to a certain age and you just don't care what people think of you.
Oh no, it's
because it won't matter very soon, so to speak. That's sad to say, but
he wants to have fun. He says he wants like to retire, sell off the Ren Faire, and like work on his art, his garden, and himself. He's very about mantras and his garden. I don't know.
That makes him sound like a better person than he is.
I know, or no.
Yeah, fair warned.
Yeah, Yeah. You just stay tuned. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, though.
I spent a lot of time watching Ren Faire thinking, how the hell did they do this?
Oh, my God.
So part of it is like you can't help but like think while you're watching it that the people are, that there's a bit of performance to it. Not because it's not real, but because these people work at a Ren Faire. There's a bit of that like thinking like these people are used to performing in front of others. So he was able to elicit some sort of performance, because like how the hell is he getting a lot of this? I mean, there's a lot of stylistic things in it that take a lot of planning.
Yeah.
But once you told me that he had been doing this documentary for 3 years and he spent, so much time stressed out about, the entire project, made me realize that he probably, when you watch it, it almost feels as if it's happening over the course of one season sort of Ren Fair. I don't know how long it is, from like maybe May to October or something like that.
It's actually October to like it's 3 months, I think.
Okay, yeah. So it makes you think that it's all taking place over that one like period, but it's actually 3 years. So I think there was a lot of, sitting, waiting, talking to people, and knowing that, oh, it's coming today, and so let's get everybody. They must have some sort of system where the director or the camera operators have like something in their ear, and someone's just waiting and saying like, okay, now, or here's this, just because like I don't know how else they pull off some of the stylistic things that they pull off in that.
How the hell you pull it off?
Yeah,
we need what we were saying.
I need a documentary about this documentary.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were saying. Yeah. We need a behind the scenes. We need a doc about the doc. Yeah. It's so crazy.
And then we can react to the documentary about the documentary. It's like an endless mirror of content.
Oh my God, like Bo Burnham.
Oh yeah. Oh Bo.
Oh Bo.
How you doing, Bo?
Love you, Bo.
Are you okay? Man, we could do a whole nother thing on
Inside. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Thanks for that journey. That was, I wish you just actually go back and watch it. I really, really loved it. It was crazy.
Are you talking about Inside or Ren Fair now?
Both.
But Ren Fair, really.
Ren Fair. Watch it on Max. Josh, tell us what you are bringing to the table this week. What are you loving?
What I'm loving, and I think you're going to love it too, or you already do, because again, we watched stuff. One of these days we're really just going to bring two things both of us do not care about, and we'll really see if we can convince each other. But, not today. I am talking about Dark Matter on Apple TV.
Yeah.
And I love it. It definitely took a second for it to get going. But it is after it, and to explain the premise is, well, how do I explain this goddamn premise? Okay, so it's based off a book of the same name. And it's about a guy who he has created this machine. And actually, or created this device, I would say.
A giant box.
Yeah. And using a type of drug, he is able to put himself into superposition. Now, to explain superposition and not sound like a total idiot, is the same concept as Schrodinger's cat. Cat is in a box, and there's poison in the box, and you don't know if the cat is chosen not to eat the poison or has chosen to eat the poison. So he either could be dead or alive. He is two states at once. He is both dead and alive. That is I don't even know if that really makes sense. The idea in this is really, it's sort of the multiverse, but it's sort of like more based on every little choice that, drives you through everything. So like everything that could have every single possibility, and the device they use in order to tell that, both the device and how they tell the story and the literal device in the show without ruining that part of it, is honestly maybe one of the only ways of actually explaining it. And like not to shit on Marvel right now, but like in Marvel, I think at some point, like in one of the movies, like Doctor Strange is like, I dreamt I died or something like that. And then they're like, well, that's the multiverse. That's how it works. And honestly, like that's a very like, Hollywood sort of, let's just think of a way to explain this and move on. Whereas in Dark Matter, the way they actually explain, how everything is happening, how they all travel to different things, is both like, it might be the only way of actually conceiving of it in a TV show. I don't know about the science of it, but like, and that's what's really mind blowing about it. And
this is all to put it very simply.
Yeah, that's to put it very simply.
It's giving body switcher, but with yourself and what could have been. Yeah, which we love. We love a body switcher.
Yeah, and honestly too, it's so funny in the show. They do, without giving too much away, they do cover a little bit of like, obviously there's like wildly different worlds that this person goes to, wildly different, and it's still our world, but wildly different versions of our world. From apocalyptic to, well, I guess there's some multiple
Crazy.
versions of apocalyptic.
Yeah, right.
You know, what fascinates me in the show at this juncture in the show is exploring all the little differences. That's something that a lot of other shows about, I don't know, the multiverse or this kind of thing, even like Rick and Morty, you know, Marvel and all this stuff. They never get into those like subtle, tiny differences. And this show gets into it, and it's just like I can't help but, you know, wonder about, you know, those kind of things. It's interesting to see, you know, like, you know, there's all these different things that we've all experienced. Like, what if there was like a slightly different like version of it with like us, you know, or like, you know, even like, I mean, there's this whole litany of, you know, tragic sports moments, right?
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. And what if like any one of those little tiny little tragic sports moments went completely differently, you know? I think those are subtle enough to of change, you know, like, I don't know, the direction of a team, all sorts of stuff like that. You
what
know?
do you imagine? I know you've thought about it. What would really do it for you? Like
I'm not gonna get into it right now.
Don't even go there.
Yeah, I can't even go there. You know, probably something with the Lakers and the Celtics. But I mean, that's like, you know, that's something that I think what the show is amazing at, what the entire premise, because it was also a book, is that it's a great what if premise for a TV show. Jurassic Park, you know, is another great what if premise where like they've done such a good job setting up the, you know, the idea that I spend at least a third of the time just wondering what if, like just imagining the, you know, if I was experiencing this or seeing this or whatever it is. And I think that is, that's another reason why I just love the show and can't wait to see where it goes. And I honestly think that it could have such longevity, because you could really like honestly explore so much of this premise. I won't even say worlds, but premise. Because they did such a good job, and I'm you know, props to the author too, because like obviously this is most of that setup is him, and he did such a good job just building a very believable, you know, well thought out. I don't want to say multiverse because it's really more about like, I guess it is a multiverse, but it's so much more than that.
But it's just so much more.
So much more.
Well, the thing I was going to comment on too is typically this would be right up your alley on paper. It's like sci-fi, and I don't typically like sci-fi like that. I like documentaries, right? But this is just, I don't know what it is. It just must be that magic sauce that like Apple has and the author had. And it's just so grounded in people, and Jennifer Connelly. Yeah. She's just so cool. Like,
what were the first words you said about her?
It's just stunning. She's just, I think I paused the frame the first time we saw her in like maybe a different world. And I'm just like, oh my God, Josh, like I had to look her up, right? Like all girls do. Like, how old is she? What's going on? Like since Requiem for a Dream, another crazy one. She's
wow,
stunning.
What a pairing you just threw in there.
When you want the queen of like hot and weird.
She's also in The Labyrinth.
Oh my God.
As a baby. I mean, obviously she's like a teenager in that, but
stunning as well. Like just what a weird, cool, hot trajectory.
Yeah.
She's just like the queen of the weird, right?
How many versions of Jennifer Connelly can be stunning?
Endless.
You should watch Dark Matter to find out.
She's just, I mean, honestly, like you took the words out of my mouth. Like I don't know who has a bigger girl crush. I think I do. Like
probably.
Just her hair, her
actually,
attitude,
who knows? That's
her finesse. It's just. Anyways, okay, so that's actually good.
That's not what the TV show is about, you know.
That's my fan club.
When what was that Nicole Kidman show? Where you were just obsessed with whatever new dress or pantsuit she was going to wear.
And coats, her jackets. Oh my God, was that another Apple show?
No, that was Max or HBO. It was a murder show.
There was 2 in a row where she was definitely the executive producer, and she's like, I will give you guys my Nicole Kidman-ness, but I need a wardrobe budget, and the budget has to be.
It was a big budget.
Oh my God, the jackets. It was Big Little Lies, and there was another one.
There was another one.
That's Hugh Jackman in jail.
Yeah.
Great.
God. Well, anyway.
It was great. So it's grounded in the people of it, which is just so cool with like such an out there idea.
That's what makes the show.
Oh my gosh. Between her and the people and the casting. Yeah. And what's the guy's name?
Joel Egerton.
Okay. And he is great too. Yeah. He is Australian?
I'm 99% sure he's Australian. He's in this in this movie Animal Kingdom. I'm pretty sure he's Australian. That's a famous Australian movie. So, but his
maybe
accent
in one of his multi-dimension
yeah,
universes
maybe
he is.
in another version of him is Australian. What? But he if he's Australian, which I am again 99% sure he is, I don't notice an accent whatsoever.
I was shocked when you said
Yeah.
that. I was like, what? When you watch a movie and you know someone is like British but American,
Yeah.
American, what? I
Wait,
just my little
isn't Nicole Kidman Australian?
another one. Okay, but do you think she gives?
But I
a
definitely
little,
every so often can tell she has an accent.
yeah. She seems like a little like not
Nothing
American.
against Nicole Kidman.
No, she's better than I
yeah.
don't know. She's more distinguished.
Wow, Australia sure pumps out a lot of Charlize
Yeah?
Theron.
Oh my god!
I know.
Wow, down under.
Yeah.
So yeah, just the cast, the people, the Jennifer Connelly.
It's a very grounded story, which I think is part of what really helps, keep you interested and keep you. What really puts you in it helps put you in the position of imagining yourself inside this story, inside that big box and all the possibilities.
I mean, it's just done so like metaphorically and real because it's just like drugs and then there's doors, but there's really doors. I guess without giving anything away, you could probably see it in the trailer. It's very meta.
And I'd also have to say that the entertainment world should be so scared of Apple TV
God.
because they are. I would say like they have the same. I would say they would have the same. They don't have to worry about subscribers in the same way. They still have to worry about them to a degree, but they don't have to worry about them the same way that, a Netflix, a Max, these other platforms have to worry about. I'd say Amazon also has that same luxury because they produce something else. And this is, where they're kind of like trying to just add more value for the customers and stuff like that. But man, the way Apple does it though, I mean,
Apple is Apple about it. It looks that way. It sounds that way. It's just,
I think a big part of their, what they try to accomplish with all of their content is making it look like it's an Apple made content. Like it looks fantastic. I think that's a big part of what they're doing.
What I would give to be in a color grade session.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh my God. Have you guys ever been in a color session?
I just imagine that Apple actually does it. So there's just like all these giant Apple TVs, Yeah. I hope. I don't know if that's actually how it does it. But
and the old iMacs too, like the color ones.
Yeah.
I don't know. They just are just like.
But they are producing some amazing content.
Okay, so another wacky, weird. What is it? Severance.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, another wild concept that they have.
Is that coming back?
That is. They just showed something.
Yes.
With Adam Scott like holding some balloons.
Of course, just like what?
Yeah. What balloons?
Corporate balloons.
Corporate balloons.
Yeah.
No. And yet, what's his name's in it too?
Wait. Oh my God, Christopher Walken.
What happened to his? I think he's still in it, right?
I think
might
so.
need a recap. It's been a few years.
Yeah.
I might need a recap. A recap.
Oh God, Christopher Walken.
If Christopher Walken is still in the show, he's about the pauses,
Was that based off a book too?
I have no idea. It might be. I don't know though. It's a pretty weird book though. I don't know if you could accomplish that. I'd be very surprised because that seems more like a concept made for TV because a lot of it is like the visual difference in what you're seeing. Like there's a big visual component to it. Whereas I could definitely see Dark Matter as a book because you can imagine like a lot of the premise is set up for you to imagine all the things that you're seeing. So yeah.
That's a crazy book. I gotta add that to my Kindle. It probably, even if it wouldn't be a spoiler because it's just so different to see it versus like in your mind.
I would say that
imagining.
I'm sure I would definitely like look up potential spoilers before reading it because you never know. Like
okay,
that might.
True. Yeah. I mean, as long as Jennifer Connelly's in the book as well, I'm in.
Yeah. Well, that's what do you think? Do you love it?
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Love it.
It's very.
That's the name of our show. You'll love it.
We love it
Yeah.
as long as Jennifer Connelly is involved.
Yeah.
It's funny. I didn't realize how much like we loved her specifically. She might be the queen of this. I mean, really, she is because it's not like Faire, King George is someone we're truly rooting for.
Yeah.
It's just the director we love.
Yeah.
But
you're definitely not rooting for King George. You're rooting for some of the characters in that without spoiling it, but
the successors who's going to get it. Somebody.
But at the same time, you can make the argument that if you're watching Succession, like you're not really rooting for, You know, it's a little bit of like a, love to hate to root for Kendall. I don't know. You know, it all seems so inevitable in the end too. So
it's true.
Yeah,
it's true. Who do you think? Well, I guess you and I know.
Yeah,
but who do you guys?
Who do you think
will be the successor?
Well, I mean, I think we're talking about this because they haven't won. Anyway, who do you think?
Let us know. The Corn King or the Sweet Little Jeff or
another character that appears later.
Or is King George just going to keep it for himself because he's just like that?
You don't know. You'll have to watch Faire and find out.
So the best part about that is you get to binge them.
Yeah.
Unlike Josh and I, we had to wait.
Yeah.
Like the first one was released and then they released the second and third. I thought to compete with Game of Thrones, which is next week.
This Sunday.
And it's kind of in that realm, which is kind of cool.
I would have said that it would have made for a great... it would have made for a great comic relief. You know how they used to do that with Silicon Valley?
Oh, yeah, the pairing.
But I think that... maybe it's too long and
too real
or and also like maybe it's setting up a bad expectation that people are like, well, when's the next episode of Faire after Game of Thrones? Mm-hmm. So maybe they just wanted to finish it up.
Nice. I loved it. It was so nice because the first one,
the saddest part is that there's not more of it. Yeah,
they could bring it back, but he doesn't need to. He's done it. He's told that story. I feel for him. I want to see what's next from him.
It would be hard to pull off all that without it seeming just like reality television and pull off all the stylistic things that they pulled off.
Yeah.
With that. When it comes to dark matter, you'll have to suffer with the rest of us and watch it once a week.
How do people watch it?
It's on Apple TV.
Okay, on Wednesdays? Question mark.
I think
it's one of those that are like Eastern time.
Yeah, and technically speaking, it just came out. I think we can watch it right now.
Which is fantastic. I love that.
It also is a very bingeable show.
Yeah,
that they could have released the whole thing, and I would have not been angry about it. I would have binged the entire thing in probably a couple days.
I'm such a bingey gal with the shows. Like that's just, they've tricked me into being this way now. I wasn't always this way. We're millennials, but like now I love it, binge.
Yeah.
I like to watch my shows like 7 hours deep.
At the end of
not good.
At the end of every episode, I'm like, no, I know it's coming too. I can kind of like see that the episode's concluding. I'm like, oh, they're about to end it, and I'm gonna have to like wait another goddamn week. I assume even like the finale of the season will probably be something like,
what the hell?
You're gonna have to watch more.
Hold on to your
in
butts.
A year. I don't know. Maybe at least some of the. I don't know. Like, there's been a lot of woes in the entertainment industry, and I'm hoping that we won't have to wait as long as we had to wait for Severance.
Oh my gosh, there's a whole.
It's been a minute. It's been at least a couple years.
Yeah. I'm excited and I want to go watch it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, okay, so that's on Max. Mine is on. Wait, they're both on Max.
Nope. Apple TV.
Yours is on Apple TV. Mine is on Max.
Yeah.
You guys check it out. We would love to dork out with you guys and hear how much you love it too. Because selfishly, we just love it. We love you. We love each other. So.
Yeah, and a lot of those other ones were on Netflix.
Yeah. Let us know if you guys want us to keep the list going too. Like, don't threaten us with a good time. We love docs. We love we always have we have so many movie lists and like summer movies, winter movies, docs. All year round. We would love to curate a list for you guys. So let's.
If you want one.
If you want one, you do.
You do. Because you know what? You love it.
You love it. Love you.
I love you.
Love you guys. See you next time.